Let's hear from the Everton manager.
Well, Rafa, you said before the match, we need to stick together. Is that the result when you do?
Yeah, I think it's very clear. When the fans, the players, everybody stick together, we are stronger. So the reaction of the team, scoring a goal disallowed, conceding a goal at the end of the first half, another goal disallowed, and still scoring goals and reacting. So that is what you are expecting from every Everton Football Club player, and every fan is expecting that. So I think that everybody is really pleased. Fans, players, staff, everyone. Hopefully it's the right step forward.
Is it fair to say there was probably more than one point during that game where you thought, this is what happens when you're on a bad run, it's not going to be our night?
Yeah, because the bar was, I don't know if the lines can be thicker or not, but the bar was quite against us all the time, and then still the reaction was brilliant. So when you have this, I said so many times, we were close to, in a lot of games, close to win or close to get something. Today was another example. As you say, everything is against you. Still, the commitment of the players, the reaction, the character that they showed today is what we are expecting with the fans behind, and everybody can enjoy that.
Did you expect to see that character that they showed after going behind, after having the VAR goals? Did you?
Yeah.
Teams in a bad run sometimes collapse in a heap, and you didn't.
Yeah, but no, we saw character against Southampton. We saw character against Marley. So the team has shown this mentality that everybody was expecting. I remember the fans at the beginning; they were really pleased with the players because they were giving everything and they care. And then today was exactly the same. It's a pity, as you say, because in a bad run, maybe some people have any doubt, but the players are really, really strong mentally, and then they're ready to change things quickly.
So how pleased were you with the way the fans stuck with you this evening? Because we spoke before the game, it felt like one before a ball was kicked that it could go either way with your supporters this evening.
No, really, in terms of the fans are expecting support, unexpected commitment from the players. The players, they are doing that. So you can talk about sometimes mistakes, or then the other day we conceded because we made mistakes against a good team. But in the final thirds on accuracy in the passes or whatever. But in terms of commitment, the players are there. The fans, they appreciate that. And what they want is to see the team that has spent a lot of money getting better and better. And I said before, we will do it. It will take some time, but we will do it.
And it was some atmosphere by the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think everybody was suffering because it was a bad run, and then the reaction of everyone is just that they believe that we can do well. So I think everybody now has the hope that we can do well.
What were your emotions at the end? Relief looked like what you were experiencing.
Yeah, to be fair, I was disappointed because we didn't deserve to be losing in the first half, and then after with all the bad decisions against us, it was something they said, can't be like that. Then the way that they reacted, they called the last goal was amazing. So I think that it's just more belief that we are trying to do is the right thing.
Longer term, Rafa, I want to ask you again, if I can, about Marcel Brands leaving the club. What does that mean in real terms for Everton and how it's run moving forward?
It means that we have to start working right now, preparing the future. The future now is short term, it's January, and after at the same time we have to think about long term. So I think the fact that the club has changed managers in the past, now that they want to do something long term with an idea very clear what we want to achieve. So I think we will try to do that. So with my experience and with the people that we have around in the club, I think that we can guide things in a direction that hopefully will be the right one.
So does it give you more control in the transfer market to guide Everton's path forward in January and beyond that?
You can say it in this way. So it's just to be sure that the people are working now. They can give us all the information that we need to be sure that we make the right decisions.
And do you prefer that structure, Rafa, without a director of football, where you can make the decisions and operate in the transfer market?
It's not what I prefer. I was working for years with a director of football. It's not an issue. So the question here is that now we have to think about the future. We have a situation that we have to take responsibility, and we will do it.
Well, the immediate future is trying to get back-to-back victories, but the statistic really, having come from behind tonight, they've now come from behind this season to take more points than any other Premier League team under Rafa Benitez, when he talks about character and resistance.
Yeah, that's most of the victories have had to have been fought for. I'm sure Rafa will now want to move forward and not have to fall behind to get his team to be kick-started into action, to show a lot more quality in possession and quality on the ball, because there was only glimpses of that tonight rather than any real control. But, you know, a manager always loves having a team full of character that can bring you back from those situations, that can get you from behind and get you points. But as I said, tonight has to have been the moment when Everton's season really begins.
We always talk about fine margins in the Premier League. The same can be said tonight. Mikel Arteta will look at that Eddie Nketiah chance at 1-1 over and over again, won't he?
Yes, he will. I mean, and I don't think Eddie will sleep too well tonight once they get back home either, because he'll be still saying to himself, how on earth have I missed that? We saw Aubameyang miss one against Newcastle. I mean, that is just such a simple chance. You just get that on target, you score, possibly the winner. It's incredible how he doesn't score there. There's no excuse for it. It's just a really bad miss, I'm afraid. And it's one that, again, he'll, as I say, won't sleep too easily thinking about that one later, I'm sure.
It was a huge moment for Everton. If that goes in, maybe the crowd turns, maybe it's difficult to come back from. And, you know, Mikel will be disappointed. Eddie Nketiah will be more so. If you want to play more, if you want to tell your manager that I deserve to be starting up front, when you do get them moments and them opportunities, you have to take them if you're going to play in the Premier League.
Mikel's, the way they played, Steve, I didn't think they controlled the game well enough, Arsenal. At their moments, and Everton had to defend for their lives, you know, quite a few times. I didn't feel like they controlled the game, controlled the ball well enough tonight, didn't handle the ball well enough, didn't keep it well enough. And that's what Mikel's teams are about. He wants them to play, be brave enough to play. And tonight, I didn't think they handled the ball with any real conviction.
At 1-1, that was a big moment. And so too were a couple of blocks that you pointed out inside the Everton penalty area.
Yeah, there was only a few moments that Arsenal did show any level of quality and opened up Everton surprisingly easy. And it took a couple of crucial blocks. Ben Godfrey coming out for that first one, and then only moments later, Seamus Coleman following up with another crucial one, just when the same player, Odegaard, thought it was opening up. And, you know, in a game of fine margins, in a game that is so important, probably to both teams, you know, Everton won the moments, and Everton made sure that the moments they stood up for counted. And even going against, you know, having two VAR decisions go against them, still managing to come back and force themselves over the line. The crowd have got a lot to thank themselves for, to be honest. The crowd played a huge part themselves.
What did you make of what Rafa said at the end about the way forward now, the path forward with a director of football without one? Is he basically saying there to the owner, you spent £500 million already, you haven't necessarily moved forward that much, you don't need one, trust me, back me?
Well, he seemed to say that he's happy to work with one, but he also seemed to want to rely on his experience of the transfer market and his dealings. And, you know, it's a difficult situation, because you bring a manager in to get behind them and give them the opportunity, then the director of football. I actually think if you're going to bring Rafa in and you're going to trust in him and go against the general feeling of the club rivalry and get him at the helm, I think you've got to back him. I think you've got to give him the opportunity to do it his way.
He's only been able to spend £1.5 million so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, exactly. And he's been around a long time. And it'd be very interesting to see exactly which way Everton want to develop now moving forward with Rafa. I still think, as I said at the start of the show, from what I've seen tonight, nothing changes my mind that I think it's going to be difficult for him at Everton. I still believe that. But tonight, his players, they put their heads down and they battled away, got a bit of luck, rode out a storm here and there and got over the line. And, you know, that's what they brought Rafa in for. They brought someone in who's, I don't think he's an elite manager nowadays, personally. He certainly was, but he's vastly experienced, and nothing's going to rattle him or faze him or change him, more importantly. Whatever's being said behind him, nothing's going to change Rafa from what he feels he does best. And so now it's how long and how hard they go with that. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
And on Andy's point there, we've seen it elsewhere in the Premier League this season with the Spurs players, with Nuno when he lost his job, the Manchester United ones at Watford, and Solskjaer lost his job. To see the players react like that for Rafa Benitez tonight.
Great. He'll be delighted. The owners will certainly be delighted. As long as the players are backing the manager, you've always got a chance. We've seen, as you said, when you know when players aren't behind the manager. You know that your time is up as a manager, as an owner, but the manager has to move on at that point. That's not the case at Everton at the moment. So I hope that's the start tonight. I really do. It was emotional. I hope that's the start.
You need to lie down after that.
Do for Everton potential?
Well, the hope is that it will kickstart Everton's season. It's well documented that Everton have had a tough run, both on the field with performances and results, off the field with injuries and criticism of transfers brought into the club. But as I was saying before the game, they had to draw a line in the sand, take tonight's opportunity under the floodlights at Goodison Park, where the atmosphere is always intense and incredible, and put in a performance. It wasn't a performance of real quality from Everton tonight, but it was desire, will, hunger, determination, real character. And then Demarai Gray scores an absolutely wonderful goal to get them over the line, but it was everything that came before it that got them to that point.
It was a wonderful goal from Demarai Gray. We can hear from him now and his captain, Seamus Coleman.
Guys, well played, Seamus. So much uncertainty, so much negativity around it at the start of the evening, but how did you do it? How did you turn it into a great Goodison Park night?
No, listen, we knew whatever goes on behind the scenes, whatever's happening, the fans always come here to support us, first and foremost. They come here to support us, and then they need to see a reaction from us to get behind us. And they got behind us from minute 1 to minute 90, and they pushed us over the line. And I think our performance showed that as well.
So did you arrive here this evening with absolutely no doubt that they would be right behind you if you played well?
100%. I've been here 12 years. You've got to take the good with the bad, and you know, sometimes they're on your back, sometimes they're not. But one thing they do is for 90 minutes they support you, and you could see that. And when Demi got his unbelievable goal at the end, you could see the reaction.
So Demarai, you've not been short on goals since arriving at Everton, but have you heard the Goodison roar quite like that when you bent that one in?
Yeah, it was a crazy moment. My best moment here so far, but you know, it was important for us to get that win. You know, last game I had a feeling it was around the corner. I think as a group we've gone through this bad patch. It's been tough, but you know, we've stuck together. Skipper and the boys, we're an experienced squad, and like I said, with the fans like that and just behind us for the whole game, it's more than deserved.
And of course you hit the bar for Richarlison's goal, the one that did stand.
Yeah.
You seem like a player showing real leadership, like you want the ball, you want to be the guy who decides games. Is that fair?
Yeah, my confidence is high at the moment, but it's not even that. I just I believe in myself, believe in my ability. I have Shay on me every single day, pushing me and telling me just to stay on it, and I'm working hard, I'm improving, and I want to be the best player I can be. And at this club I'm enjoying it. The fans have been great. Although we've had a rough patch, I've still been able to kick on, and I'm just happy that today we got the points. It's most important.
Just what you're talking about there. I remember there was a moment in the first half. I think Demarai was down, injured. You were on his case then, weren't you? I heard you shouting from the bench, "Get up! We need you. You're massive for us."
He is. I tell him that every day. As he said, I'm on him every day in the best way possible. Sometimes these players don't realise how good they can be and the ability that they have, and he's got bundles of ability in there, and he just needs to work hard every single day, because that's what the top players do, and that's what he's been doing, and that's what he's done this week, and that's why he got his goal. But he's really on it at the moment.
How tough has it been, Seamus? I read your programme notes with interest. You said since the Liverpool game, you obviously yourself, you're at fault for one of the goals. Has it been like a few sleepless nights?
No, listen, you hurt. You hurt when you lose games of football. You hurt when you make mistakes. The Liverpool game, I take responsibility. I feel that we were getting back in the game. I made a mistake, but I've been around long enough to take the ups and the downs. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. And whatever bit of criticism you get, you've got to take it in the chin, because that's part and parcel of football. You come in the next day, you work hard, and your luck eventually turns. And thankfully, Demi helped us over the line tonight.
So is this the turning point?
We go again next game, and when we build from there. But this gives us great confidence.
Well done, both of you. Well played.
Cheers.
Now, before we get to the spectacular with Demarai Gray, you mentioned guts and courage there before. You've played with Seamus Coleman, as you say, he's been there 12 years with the armband. How important is he, not just the way he plays, the way he speaks there, to getting Everton back on track?
Well, he's crucial. I think, we've spoken about it across the board, that characters like Seamus Coleman have dwindled out the game over the past 10 or 15 years. So if you've got one of his calibre at your club, they're priceless. You've seen his reaction. Demarai Gray went down with a with a knee to the back just after half-time, and he was over in his face, telling him to get up off the floor, telling him how important he is. And he seems to have the understanding within his own squad, as all good captains do, of what individual players need. Demarai needs constant encouragement, it seems, and telling how good he can be. I'm sure there's other people within the squad that need the proverbial kick up the backside. So, you know, having that experience also is speaking about taking responsibility for the Derby defeat last week because of a mistake, taking that on himself, protecting his teammates from the results as best he possibly can, so that they can then go out and play as free as they can tonight. And that takes great experience, character, and a lot of guts.
And he was saying how good Demarai Gray can be. How good was that goal, Andy?
The goal was exceptional, stunning goal. We'll analyse it from a different angle from behind the goal in a moment, but let's just enjoy that little step inside, because he's got Doucouré running outside of him. It just allows him to step in. But a couple of situations here. Ben White, centre-half, coming out with the ball, tries to find a teammate, ball gets cut out. Do I recover my position or do I stay there? Does neither. Here, Granit Xhaka on a yellow card. Should he have gone towards the ball? No, he shouldn't. Bad decisions there. And then from there, Leon, all of a sudden, the rest is history.
Well, it is, and I think that the run from Doucouré may just help, because suddenly Tomiyasu has to break free from it, gives Demarai Gray just an opportunity to skip at Ben White, who's now in a midfield position rather than a defensive position, but he cuts inside and, you know, in that last minute of the game when Everton are desperate for a win, he's got players up alongside him, players taking the overlap, but he's took responsibility himself. He's thought, this is my moment, I'm playing well, I've already hit the crossbar, I'm taking responsibility here, and does he ever? What a quality finish. And he's been outstanding for Everton this season, really has taken the fight and taking responsibility to create something for Everton when they've lacked in certain situations, and he'll be delighted with his return.
Would you think, Leon, that's the most significant moment in his career today? For
his whole career?
I think so, Steve. I mean, I know, was he part of the Leicester team?
He started one game in
their title-winning season. You know, and he's had to go out, he's been out on loan, he's been away, and he's had to come back, so he's still trying to establish himself. And it's like situations like that, just moments like that, that you can look back and you can think, that was when things changed for me.
Well, you do, because as much as he's probably, well, he has got a Premier League winners' medal, he was on the periphery. He will have been a part of it.